All right, week 5 college football breakdown here. A doozy in the Big Ten, big noon kickoff to start the day. Michigan, number 4 team in the country, heading on the road to Iowa City, taking on the Hawkeyes at Kinnick Stadium. Michigan here on the road, double-digit favorite, seeing 10.5 right now, and a very low total at 42. It's come down a little bit, opened at 43.5, and had been seeing 42.5 for a while, but total seems to be getting skyrocketed down. I do agree with that move. If I had to play this game right now, I would lean towards the under. Listen, the problem with backing Iowa here, I get it. The first thing that jumps out is, and I've said this all along, Michigan is going to wish at times. I think J.J. McCarthy will finish with better numbers than Cade McNamara this year, but I think there are going to be times where having an experienced quarterback that's played these kind of games before would be of value to them. I've talked about that for weeks now, and I think that does apply here. The one thing about Iowa, I don't think people give their defense enough credit. I think this is the second best defense in college football. I think they're toe-to-toe with Alabama. They're clearly a little bit behind Georgia, but that gap between Georgia and Iowa, as far as their defensive efficiency, is not as big as people would lead you to believe. This is a really good Iowa defense at all 3 levels. They're really physical up front. They probably have the best linebackers in college football. And I really like their secondary as well. Michigan has obviously looked really good offensively early in the season. You know, they played a weak non-conference schedule, but give them credit. They did look good last week against Maryland. J.J. McCarthy looked fine. And then obviously Blake Corum broke out with a huge day, over 200 yards on the ground. Michigan's offense versus Iowa's defense is a heavyweight matchup. I think there'll be times where J.J. McCarthy makes good throws. I think Blake Corum, kind of as we saw in the Big Ten championship last year, will be able to break off some chunk runs, but I think Iowa can force Michigan into some mistakes. So it's a heavyweight matchup, and it's just now that we're getting closer to the game, if you would have told me I could have gotten double digits with Iowa a few weeks ago, I would have said I'm all on it. But we're getting here, and listen, the odds makers know everything I've told you. They know Michigan has played a weak schedule. They know Iowa's great defensively, and they're still putting this at double digits for a reason. So you kind of have to respect that to a certain element. What makes Iowa so hard to back? Their offense is terrible. They really haven't run the ball the way I thought they would. I thought they just kind of had a down year last year on the ground. It just seems like that offensive line is just not as good as I think a lot of people projected it to be. I thought they would show improvement there. It's just not a very good offensive line. So that's a little bit concerning. And obviously, if Michigan can stop the run, which I think is probably their strength defensively, are we really going to trust Spencer Petras' arm? Spencer Petras is atrocious, and I think he can get away with things because he does have such a good defense. That is going to win Iowa games alone, but that's not going to win them this game. So I would obviously lean towards Iowa catching double digits at home, but I'm not going to do it. Can't do it. The good thing about playing this full game under is that, you know, yes, Michigan is probably going to get some chunk plays against this Iowa defense. So let's say Michigan puts up, you know, I think their team total is going to be right around 27. So let's say they put up 27. You know, the good thing is if Iowa just is absolutely inept offensively, like they have been for a lot of the year, and they score 10, then, you know, that the under is going to come through. It is a low total, though. It doesn't give you much wiggle room. If I'm underestimating how Michigan's offense steps up, then we're kind of screwed there. And the other thing, too, we did see Michigan totally dominate Iowa in the Big Ten championship game last year, and not a lot has changed about either unit since last year. If anything, Michigan probably has more of a vertical passing game now than they did entering that game. So I've kind of gotten cold feet here. I'll stop talking. I could only play Iowa, and I could only play the under. I just don't think it's going to make my card. Before we get out of here, guys, I know you've been staring at the shirt the whole time. If you're wondering how you can look as cool and sexy as me, let me tell you, Proud90.com, unique but very comfortable polos as well. They got t-shirts, hoodies, quarter zips, recently added a ladies line. Proud 90's got all your golf apparel needs. Browse their selection. If you see anything you like at checkout, use code Fordham. It's going to get you 15% off your entire order. Check the description for more information.